There is a moment when behavior changes. Not because a rule changed, not because a consequence appeared, not because the environment became different, because someone walked into the room. And suddenly, everyone sits a little straighter, speaks a little differently, performs a little harder. The work didn't change. The people didn't change. The situation didn't change. The observation changed. And maybe that's why throughout history, humans have imagined watchers, eyes in the dark, figures at the edge of the forest, silent observers, witnesses. Because being watched changes us. And maybe the most unsettling part is, sometimes we don't even need a watcher. Sometimes the possibility is enough. Hi, my name is Steph Fitzgerald, and I'm the Experience Architect. I design how systems shape human experience. And this is Experience Systems, where leadership, psychology, and design converge into living systems. But on Sundays, we step somewhere darker, a little stranger, a little softer, a little more midnight. Less lecture, more candlelight, more stories told too late at night. So welcome to Creatures of the Night. And tonight, we talk about watchers. Not hunters, not predators, observers. Because some of the most powerful forces in human behavior never touch us directly. They simply watch. Across cultures, watchers appear again and again. The all-seeing eye, guardian spirits, forest watchers, divine observers, ancestors who witness different stories, different cultures, different meanings, yet the pattern survives. Something sees, something knows, something observes. And whether those stories are comforting or terrifying, they carried the same implication. Your actions matter, even when no one else is present, because someone is watching. And perhaps that is why the watcher archetype has survived for so long. It speaks to something fundamental. Humans change behavior when they believe they are being observed. In the early 20th century, researchers observed something strange. Workers became more productive when they knew they were being studied. Not because conditions improved, not because processes changed, because observation itself altered behavior. This became known as the Hawthorne Effect. It revealed something important. People do not simply respond to environments. They respond to awareness. The awareness that someone might be paying attention, which means observation is not passive. It is participatory. The watcher changes the story simply by what is being present. Organizations learn this quickly. The moment measurement becomes visible, behavior begins adapting to the measurement. Sales targets, performance reviews, response times, productivity dashboards. People optimize for what is being observed. And that sounds useful until it isn't. Because eventually, the metric becomes the goal. The appearance replaces the outcome. The score replaces the purpose. People stop asking, are we succeeding? And start asking, do we look successful? The watcher didn't create the behavior. The watcher redirected it. Today, many people live inside observation systems. Social media, analytics, algorithms, notifications, likes, views, followers. Public metrics attached to private expression. And over time, something subtle begins happening. People stop asking, what do I want to create? And start asking, what will perform? The watcher becomes internalized. No audience is required. No observer is present. The watcher has moved inside. Think about the journey we've been taking together. The banshee warned us. The grunch showed us exile. The mimic stole our voice. The loveland frog challenged curiosity. The raven mocker fed on fear. The doppelganger distorted identity. The energy vampire extracted vitality. And beneath every story, someone was watching. The villagers, the witnesses, the storytellers, the crowd. The observer has always been there. We just weren't looking at them yet. The most powerful watcher isn't external, it's internal. The voice that evaluates, monitors, corrects, adjusts. The voice that asks, how am I being perceived? How am I being judged? How am I performing? And sometimes that voice becomes so loud, we stop experiencing life directly. We begin watching ourselves instead of living, evaluating ourselves instead of expressing, performing ourselves instead of becoming. And that may be the greatest power the watcher possesses. Not observation, self-observation. For months now, we've been exploring creatures, monsters, legends, folklore. Not because monsters are interesting, although there are, but because they reveal something about human experience. Fear, identity, belonging, transformation, and eventually you realize something. Every story needs a witness. Someone who stays, observes, documents, tries to understand. Because some people hunt monsters. Some people create them. Some people become them. And some people simply watch. Carefully, patiently, trying to understand how fear is built, how stories survive, how experiences shape us. And that is where the watcher begins. Maybe the question isn't whether something is watching you. Maybe the question is, how much of your life has already been shaped by the possibility that something might? Because observation creates behavior. Behavior creates systems. Systems create stories. And every story needs a witness. So as we continue this journey through folklore, through fear, through the strange architecture of human experience, remember this: the monster isn't always the most important thing in the room. Sometimes it's the person watching. Good night, my creatures. And for those willing to look a little deeper, I'll see you soon. The watcher is waiting. It's time to rise.